Good morning, guys. Today is move day, and if you follow along on the channel, you know that I thoroughly enjoy move days because it's a sign of a new adventure awaiting us. Today, not so much. Stick around and I'll explain why. So good morning. If you are new to the channel, real brief, we are a husband and wife team traveling the country with our two pups, Mia and Nugget. I'm Manny. My wife over here is Myrna. And welcome. If you are a loyal follower, welcome back to the channel. So, as mentioned, this morning is move day. And I also mentioned that I love move day, but today I'm not feeling it, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, I enjoy the whole, packing up in the morning and hooking the rig up and going through all my steps. I know some of you full-time RVers out there that are looking at this right now are saying, this guy's nuts. But I enjoy that. Well, thinking locally this morning wasn't a good thing. Let me tell you something about this park, this RV park. It's a nice place, really close to Wall Drugs, 8 miles from the Badlands. You can't go wrong. Number one, it's the only place there, but with the the location and full hookups, it is a little bit pricey. Nonetheless, you can't go wrong because you're right in the hub. However, I'm not sure if they imported them. I'm not sure if they flew north for the summer. But let me tell you something. They got mosquitoes here that make the mosquitoes in Florida look like infants. Unbelievable. As soon as you walk out of your coach, bam, you get hit. So I wasn't looking forward to hooking up this morning. Whatever, I used a little bit of spray. I did the best I could, and we got out of there, okay? But now, why I'm really not looking forward to it mainly has to do with today's drive. So we are leaving Wall, South Dakota, and we are heading to Bismarck, North Dakota. Not because there's anything special in Bismarck, although it's from the research we do, it's got a pretty cool downtown, which we're going to check out. We're there for 2 nights. The reason we're going to Bismarck is because we're heading to a place called Dunseith, North Dakota, which is right on the Canadian border. No, we're not going to Canada. We're just going to that campground, which is on the border. The problem is that between here and Dunseith, there's nothing. I mean, there's something, but really there's very little campgrounds along the way. So I chose, against my better judgment, I chose a KOA in Bismarck, North Dakota. I'm not a big KOA fan. Not sure if I've ever mentioned it to you guys. I think there's too much hoopla, a bit overpriced, but it was the only thing that I could find nearby the highway to stop for 2 nights. So we're going to stop there 2 nights, and then we're going to be off to the Canadian border. And whatever we do in Bismarck, we're going to share with you guys, albeit probably not much, but I'm really looking forward to the campground right after Bismarck. And that's it. That's the scoop. We're off for the other reason that I failed to mention. Today is a 5.5 hour day as far as driving, and again, you think I'd learn by now. I made a little mistake. There's a time change in the middle, so we kind of lose an hour. When we arrive there, it'll be 4:45 in the afternoon, but our mental clock will be 3:45. So I goofed on that. Long day. It'll seem like a long day for me. For you guys, it'll be a snap. All right, so a very interesting update. We are still on the road. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're still about 2 hours away from Bismarck, North Dakota. And we are literally stopped in the middle of the highway. We are on U.S. Highway 212. which goes directly up the state of South Dakota into Bismarck. Hold on. That truck is a dead giveaway of why we're stopped here. We are in a construction zone. We just happened to drive up on it. Part of the reality of traveling this beautiful country. We ran into some construction and the delay is about 20 to 30 minutes. Just stopped on the highway. So I thought I'd give you guys an update. But I'll show you, I'll flip the camera around here and show you what the area that we're in. Say hi. So what's up? What's up? We finally made it after a 7-hour day. I think it was a 7-hour day. Yes, we did have 1 hour that we messed up the time difference. But after 7 hours, we finally made it. We're here. I'll show you guys a little bit of video about the campground. We made it to Bismarck, North Dakota. Like I said, here in Bismarck, the only thing we have planned is we're going to go downtown, check it out. I also made an appointment. Thank God. Finally, we're in civilization. I made an appointment to get my my phone fixed. The screen is all cracked. I can't use the forward-facing camera, which is a pain in the butt. Some of you guys know that I do everything with my phone, so it's kind of difficult to video with the back cameras when I'm doing a selfie like I am right now. But, you know, I make it work. But I finally have the appointment. I'm going to get that fixed tomorrow. And then in 2 days, day after tomorrow, we're going to be heading to a place called Dunseith. I'm not sure if I mentioned Dunseith, North Dakota, right on the Canadian border. Place called International Peace Gardens. Now, what's so special about International Peace Garden? When I did my research, International Peace Garden is the type of place where you're not in the U.S. anymore. To enter the park, you got to show a passport if you're an American citizen. You can also enter it from the Canada side. You need to show a passport there, your Canadian passport. When you enter the International Peace Garden, you're in neither of those two countries. You're basically on international grounds. That's where we're going. We have reservations there at that campground. But I got to do a little bit of more research just to make sure. I don't want to go over there. We do have our passports with us and everything, but I don't want to go over there and get in a pickle. So that's next. That's next on the agenda. That's the next part of our journey. But before we do that, got to share a little bit of Bismarck with you guys. So whatever we do tomorrow, no, I'm not going to bore you guys with the trip to Best Buy to get my phone fixed. But whatever we do, we'll share it with you guys. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So it is our last day here. It's actually the second day and our last day here in Bismarck, North Dakota. I promised you guys yesterday that we were just going to drive in the downtown area because we really didn't have anything specific here. That's where we're at right now. We're at the Capitol building, which is actually very pretty. The whole setup. I'll take a few pictures and I'll share them with you guys. morning. It is another day here in Bismarck, North Dakota, albeit not for long, because today we actually not for long. No, we're gone. We've been on the road for an hour. We have left Bismarck, North Dakota, en route. We're still in North Dakota, but we're en route to a place that I think I mentioned to you guys a little earlier, or in another video. We're going to a place called International Peace Garden. That place that we're staying at has a little story behind it, kind of interesting. I'll share it with you guys in a little bit. I'm driving right now, but I'll share it with you guys in a snap. All right, guys, so just like that, at a snap of a finger, we made it. We made it to our next campground. This place is called International Peace Garden. Now, I told you I was going to tell you that about this place because it has a little bit something interesting. And what it is International Peace Garden happens to be exactly that, a peace garden, but it sits right on the U.S.-Canada border. So this campground, and we're gonna do a little exploring on it in the next few days. We're gonna be here for 3 days, and this is what we're doing here. This place where we're at is exactly what we're doing here. There's nothing else to see around this area, around this place. But what makes this kind of interesting is that you need to have your passports. Well, it's better that you have your passports because it makes the entry much easier. If you have a driver's license and a birth certificate, you can also get in. What happens is that when you enter the International Peace Garden, you're not in the U.S., you're not in Canada. So when you leave here, depending on which way you go, you got to go through an entry border. So, yes, believe it or not, up here in the north end, of the U.S., there actually is a working border. Sorry, that's a bad joke. I couldn't hold back. But when we leave here in the next few days, we got to actually show our passports, and we got to get back into the U.S. because we're on international grounds right now. I'm going to flip the camera around, and I'm going to show you guys our campsite. This is true camping. This is we have electric and water, but we have no sewer. But that's not exactly what I mean by being true camping. What I mean by true camping is the area that we're in. Very pretty, very secluded. Getting in here, I'll show you guys. I mean, it's nestled in a wooded area. That's basically it. There are some campers. I have one right in front of us, but he's about 50, 60 feet away. No big deal. But I'll show you guys what we have here. It's really nice. And we kind of did a quick drive just now of the actual International Peace Gardens. The gardens are right in the middle, and it's divided. You have a 3.1 mile loop that goes around the Canada side, and you have a 3.5 mile loop that goes around the U.S. side. So it's very pretty. We're going to share everything that we do tomorrow. We're going to share it with you guys. So good morning. It is another day here in Peace Gardens. I really can't say a state. I can't even say a country. Peace Garden, International Peace Garden. That's where we're at. It is another day. Today we're going to go around and visit the areas here within the garden. A little bit more information about the garden. It was in 1928 a group of people got together and decided to come up with this place. What makes this place interesting is that they wanted it to be a common ground, a peace ground. So that's why it doesn't belong to the U.S., doesn't belong to Canada. There are a couple little questions that I have, but I'll discuss those a little bit more as we go along. But like I said, they got together in 1928, and in 1932, about 50,000 people gathered here for the inauguration of this park. And it is very pretty. It's got some really pretty areas. Today, we're just going to go hang out at a little bit of the picnic areas, and we're going to share those with you. And eventually, we're going to show you the actual garden also, which is very, very pretty. So as we get started, here's a little look of the roadway leaving our campground. Very secluded, You know, you're right in the middle of the woods. Actually, there was some more people here yesterday. A lot of them left. Today is a Saturday, so we don't know what the actual gardens are going to look like, but this is the road leaving our campground, or our campsite. Okay, so as you exit the campground, the first thing you run into is this place, and the title is simply Historic Lodge. That's all it says. Here's the front yard of this historic lodge. Oh. What makes it kind of interesting is, look what we have here right in the front of the lodge. The 10 Commandments. I know that it's called International Peace Garden, but I didn't see, or I don't see, a religious correlation, or they didn't talk about any of that. But there we go. From the historic lodge, you can actually connect to the campground and also some cabins. Let's check them out. So the cabins look like that. There's, I think, 6 or 8 of them right around this loop. The only problem is I'm not going to go around that loop. We had a storm last night and everything is muddy and ground is really soft, so you're not going to get to see the cabins. Only one. There it is. All right, so this is just off to the left when you make a left inside the gardens. That looks like a residence. That looks like a personal residence, 2-car garage, the whole works. And right there comes the first question that I have. Where's that house located? US? Canada? Is there property taxes there? Who lives there? Pretty cool. Pretty interesting stuff. So we took the Canada loop, which is one way. I told you guys yesterday it's 3.1 miles. And the first thing you come, this loop actually has a couple of picnic areas, but again, very secluded, as you see here on video. And it goes around this huge lake that has kayaking. There's some kayakers out there in the middle. And of course, Mia's in the background, just trying to be Mia. This is called Lake Stormon. S-T-O-R-M-O-N. There it is right there. Okay, so we pulled into Birch Grove picnic area. Again, we are on the Canada Loop. Just like behind me here, there's several of them. There's I want to say 4 or 5 on the Canada Loop, and like 3 or 4 on the US Loop. But I'll turn around and I'll give you guys an idea of what this looks like. There's Mia, loving life. There's not that many places that you can have your dogs off leash, but this particular area, there's nobody around. We're the only ones here. There are so many different little areas and nooks and crannies within the entire gardens that you could have your own space. So letting her run off leash is good. Oh my God, look at her, living her best life. All right, so we showed you one of the picnic areas on the Canada side, and now we're pulling into an actual. There's a designator, and I'll show you guys here the video. This designator separates or delineates the actual border. Now remember, the garden sits straight smack in the middle. The dividing line, the border is in the middle, and this actually delineates where that border is. You can see if I look over the marker, there's actually a very well defined line in the tree line, which is very, very interesting. And each side of this marker is marked USA on one side, Canada on the other. Very, very cool, very interesting place, which is one of the reasons why I put it on our list to come here. You know, it had a little bit to do with chasing the weather, like I always say. You know, when you come up, or when you're out camping, I wanted to stay as north as possible as the summer months rolled in. And I'm telling you right now, we are literally, I can be in 1 minute in Canada and 1 minute I can be in the US, and still, I'm going to show you guys a picture. I'm going to show you guys a picture here of the temperature outside. All right, so we're done at the marker that defines the U.S. and the Canada border, and we are now here at a place called Peace Chapel, and I'll bring you guys a few photos of this place. All right, so good morning. It is another day here in, can't say Dunseith, again, can't say Canada, we gotta say International Peace Gardens. We left the campground now. We're heading into the town of Dunseith, back inside North Dakota, and we're crossing through the I don't know, the inspection station, the customs inspection station. Pretty cool. I'll show you guys. right, so the border crossing was uneventful. It was pretty straightforward. Couple questions they asked, no big deal. But we had to we weren't planning to leave the Peace Gardens, but we ran into a little issue with our whole cell service and our phone cell service, and that's, you know what, that's for another video, another day. I'm not even going to make that one of my good, bad, ugly segments. It's just a bad. So we crossed back into the U.S., into North Dakota, because right up here in the town of, I want to say Buttonell, which is right next to Dunseith, is a Walmart. And we're going to go up here and see if we can find a prepaid cell phone to purchase. Like I said, huge issue, total, another story for just another day. But that's where we're heading. Should be back in the gardens here in a little bit. And when we do, we're going to close out today's video by giving you guys a tour of the actual garden itself. All right, we are back at the campground from our trip to Walmart. The whole phone issue and stuff like that, I may not do a video specifically on that for full-time RVers, or like in our case, extended travel RVers. It was a mess, but that's for another time. We are back, and we are now going to go do the garden itself, and we're going to share it with you guys. All right, so some of the areas are currently closed for renovation. This is at the very end, or one of the ends of the actual garden. Not sure if you can tell on the video, that is a pair of hands with a dove. Signal of peace. So this is a view of from the garden towards the front gate of the International Peace Garden. I'm going to show you the other way, and I'll show you exactly where the dividing line is. This is facing towards the back of the garden, and if you see the split right in the middle, that little waterway right there, that is actually the dividing line. If you follow that all the way to the back of the garden, you'll run across that marker that I showed you guys a little while ago, or in yesterday's clip. This is the garden. This is from just above the set of hands that I just showed you a second ago. It's absolutely beautiful. This area here is called the Sunken Garden, and they keep it closed with a gate that we just came through, because apparently there's a white-tailed deer population that loves to come in here and munch on the flowers. Very pretty area, very peaceful too. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the footage we brought you guys of the Peace Garden itself. Very nice place. I'll be honest with you, this entire stay has been very, very cool. You know, the foresty setting is actually really nice. It's camping at its best. There are a couple nights that we've had some mosquito issues, but then again with this heat, and I think everybody's basically going through that. But that's going to be a wrap for the Peace Gardens. Tomorrow morning, we are going to pack up and we're going to head to a new place. And since it's the end of Peace Garden, it's also the end of North Dakota, which is the nearest state to where we're at right now. As a matter of fact, when we leave tomorrow and we go through the Border Patrol station, we're going to be going through North Dakota anyway. But more on that tomorrow. As of for now, we're going to go ahead and close it off, and we're going to do the North Dakota sticker on our map. There you go, guys. North Dakota is a wrap. It has found its way to the map. Tomorrow, we move on to new adventures.